Hey everybody, welcome back to Divinity Original Sin. We are continuing where we left off by checking out the town and seeing what we can do to find out about this murder that has happened. This murder. What murder? We'll come back to this. Market area where we were, last time.
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the source hunter, are you not? The hero the whole of Cyseal is abuzz about. The talk of the town. The juiciest grape on the grapevine. Such a pleasure to meet you. A delight. No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an intervention of fate. Yes, that's it. Fate has put me on this very spot so I may tell you all about a most intriguing opportunity indeed.
And you are?
Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine. But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been broken? I save lives, to be sure, but today I change them.
You're not worried about the undead out and about?
They call the undead a problem, my friend, but those who know the ways of the Fabulous Five see no problems. They see opportunities. An enterprising spirit can wrench riches from cold dead rocks, or from cold dead full stop.
About that opportunity you mentioned.
Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better. To become the full extent of the promise that is locked inside of each and every one of us. So first of all, let me ask you this question. Do you like adventure?
Of course I do. How could someone in my profession not?
Quite right. Adventure is what we live for.
I'm having them agree this time because if they disagree and I lose for some reason, then I've locked out of a quest line entirely.
See here, you and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking the unbeaten path, the rush of finding yourself in a goblin ambush, knowing you'll prevail nonetheless. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of a mere soldier. Now, between you and me, tell me truthfully, don't you sometimes wish you could earn more?
Delicious dogfish! Yours for a scrap of gold!
Well, I can't say that I haven't.
Yes, some extra gold is always welcome.
Indeed. Indeed, gold is always welcome. And among the Fabulous Five, gold flows as freely as water does to the sea. Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety, without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes. Am I right? All those orders. Investigate this, retrieve that, and at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? Wouldn't you prefer to call your own shots? Be your own boss?
It's better to lead than to follow. That much is true.
Better to be served than to serve. I concur.
Well spoken. Well said indeed. Life's too short to spend it doing someone else's bidding, am I right? Of course I am. And I could help you attain the dream, enact the change you deserve. And that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab, so that I could meet you and tell you about the marvel that is the Fabulous Five. The invitation to join is yours. Grab it.
To be fair, the crime scene is also at the King Crab, so, like, yeah, we were gonna be here eventually, so if he was just waiting for us, it makes sense to just stand outside the crime scene.
Ah, the Fabulous Five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers' guild in Riverlon. Our mission, to better the world. Our mantra, to better ourselves as we do so. To realize our dreams and cleanse our souls. You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, if you still have questions, I shall answer them to the best of my abilities. But if not, how about we get started?
So what is it that members of the Fabulous Five actually do?
What a gem of a question. Straight as an arrow, sharp as a switchblade. Most meritorious of you. Now then, to join the Fabulous Five is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. The title of Knight is bestowed upon you the moment you sign our waiver, and so it all begins. I shall be the one to give you your first contracts, and once the job is done, I shall see to it you get your fair share of the reward. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five, and thereby draw new knights into our fellowship, you will get a share of the reward from their contracts too. Isn't that wonderful? By now, the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? But did I say fellowship? I mean family. For like a family, we support one another, cheer one another, see each other through thick and thin, partake in glory and defeat.
Oh no, he's one of those corporate types. We're not co-workers, we're family. Oh no.
Work hard, fulfill contracts, enlist new knights, and swiftly shall you rise through the ranks. You will better yourself. You will better Riverlon. You will make the stars shine all the brighter, and you'll get fabulously wealthy in the process. What's not to like?
Alright, we'll enlist just because we want to do all the side quests.
Of course, of course, of course. All you need to do is sign this waiver, and just like that, snap! You're part of the family. All I need is your lovely little autograph. What do you say?
Alright.
Join a guild, better the world, earn a lot of gold. Yes, count me in.
And me. May all the riches in the world be ours.
Marvelous. Magnificent. Oh, but what am I saying? Fabulous is the word. You may not realize it yet, but your fortunes, your very life is about to change for the better. So let us not dilly-dally. To business. Your first assignment is ready and waiting if you're ready and willing.
About my assignment.
Oh, it's a pretty straightforward task, this one. Now, in this town dwells a wizard. Ahu is his name, and he's a frightful eccentric. Scientific type, you know the kind. Favors reason over faith and all that. Not Fabulous Five material, him. His experimental weapons may keep a couple of skeletons away from the city, but many of his other researches failed, malfunctioned with tragic consequences. One of them was a big lumbering apparatus, a frightful automaton shaped like a giant made of steel. It was supposed to crush the undead by the dozens, piloted as it was by a trained legionnaire. But you can guess what happened. Did it become sentient? Was it cursed? Whatever the cause, the thing relieved itself of its pilot and headed north towards a network of caves. Now ask yourself, what if it comes back? It could smash the city walls and claim 100 lives before being subdued. Luckily, there are those in this world who belong to the Fabulous Five. The braves who eat such monstrosities for breakfast. Go, my friend. Find this wizard's abomination and claim your just reward from Mayor Cyseal in the name of our hallowed guild. Easy money.
Alright, I'll take my leave. Alright. That's the start of that quest. We'll come back to the King Crab in a bit.
Well, Mayor Cyseal will be happy to see the likes of a source hunter. Welcome to the Town Hall of Cyseal.
Mayor Cyseal of Cyseal? Oh boy.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer, huh? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you.
Tell me about yourself.
My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cyseal, Mayor of Cyseal, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Cyseal through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed.
Tell me about the issues in Cyseal.
What? Oh, you mean Cyseal? Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jake, and by source magic no less, weren't enough. We're also facing all sorts of brutish intruders. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savaging our beaches. That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of Cyseal. And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought, a weapon called the Staff of Pergamon. Jake, murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed. I could hardly believe it myself. The Councilor and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but old squabbles evaporate under such circumstances. Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, the Legion have taken her into protective custody to keep her safe from the mob. As you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrell was always a bit, suggestive. But I've never had cause to suspect her of violence. Still, one never knows for sure. An all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Cyseal is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Councilor. What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but one trade route overrun, Cyseal's once torrential commerce has slowed to a pathetic trickle. What now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cyseal proved an old fool, though, for the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me. His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Cyseal harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind. The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead. Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really don't know, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least explain the basics.
Oh, man, the humor from Larian is always top-notch.
Ah, you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, well, rather more than nice, they occasionally, Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Cyseal's under siege by orcs, undead, and cultists. That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in exactly? Ah, the library. Yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Cyseal. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself. Marvelous. Follow me then.
All right.
What? Oh, yes. This library is the jewel in Cyseal's crown. The beacon of culture and learning in our fair city. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information about this place packed into her brilliant brain. Yes, Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I adopted so long ago. Ah, it brings a tear to my eye just seeing her here among her beloved books. What? Oh, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs now. Please introduce yourself. I know Victoria will be happy to make your acquaintance.
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. The Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum. And the first edition, too. Most promising.
So, sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. A source hunter! Oh, what a sight for sore Cysealian eyes! Me? I live alone here in town. Used to be that my younger brother Tom and I were practically joined at the hip, but that's all changed now. Oh, he's always been something of a rascal, calling his petty hooliganism adventuring and endlessly worrying my poor mind. Oh, but of course, I've always loved that scamp to bits. For my part, I encouraged him to join the Legion. Even got him sparring with Captain Aureus now and then. But then those blasted Fabulous Five came into town. That band of... I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're his heroes, and I simply couldn't prevent him from going to see them. That one meeting was all it took for Tom to run off with them on some mission to God knows where.
Is there no new book to be discovered in this library?
Place this book here. A volume of poetry among novels. Urrak. Mayhem.
Demonology for dumbbells. I need something more advanced. Is there no new book to be discovered in this
Fellow will have
library?
to pay yet another fine.
In the name of Amun-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Geta Hal, be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine.
Who are you, madam?
I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Cyseal toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own, this kindest of souls, taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride.
May I take books from the library?
Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too.
Alright, perfect. Now we are not stealing whenever we take a book.
I need something more advanced. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
Kaj'Dinor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine.
I need something more advanced. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Teleron will have to pay yet another fine.
The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
It was the only book I couldn't just take outright. I had to steal it to get it. It's not my fault.
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for.
Kaj'Dinor. Brief history of
The
sorcery still
Encyclopedia
hasn't been
Daemonium.
returned.
I
Teleron
know
will have
it
to
by
pay yet
heart.
another fine.
Once I pick up all the books, we'll flip through them, and whatever bonuses I get from certain books, we'll deal with them
Princess
then.
Buttercup with the
This isn't
blushing
the
cotton.
grimoire I'm looking for.
Esmeralda does have a propensity
Encyclopedia
for all things
Daemonium.
naughty,
I
hasn't
know
she?
it by heart. Demonology for dumbbells.
Gotta wait.
I need something more advanced. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum.
Place this
And the
book here.
first edition too.
A volume of poetry
Most
among
promising.
novels. Rack. What mayhem.
The Lesser Key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense. The Encyclopedia
Place
Daemonium.
this book here.
I know it
A
by
volume
heart.
of poetry among novels.
Come
Rack.
on.
What
Where's everybody
mayhem.
going? Shoot. Where are you going?
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I
Can't get
know it
either
by
of them.
heart.
Place this book here. A volume of poetry
Come
among
on.
novels. Rack. What mayhem.
No, this isn't the
Oh.
grimoire I'm looking for. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
The knight in see-through armor. Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom.
Okay.
Taken.
All the books we want. Okay.
Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
Nonsense. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And the first edition too. Most promising. The Lesser Key
The
of
knight in see-through
Sadakandras.
armor.
Ugh, what
Princess
nonsense.
Buttercup with the
The
blushing
Pseudomonarchia Daemonum.
Taken.
And the first edition
Esmeralda
too.
does have a propensity for all
promising.
things naughty, hasn't she?
Okay. Some crafting.
The knight in
Demonology for
see-through armor.
dumbbells.
Princess Buttercup
I
with the
need
blushing
something more
bottom.
advanced.
Taken.
The
Esmeralda
Encyclopedia
does have a propensity for
Daemonium.
all things
I know
naughty,
it by
hasn't she?
heart.
Pizza dough. Make some pizza.
The knight in see-through armor. Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom.
Demonology for dumbbells.
Esmeralda does have a
need something
propensity
more
for all
advanced.
things naughty,
The
hasn't she?
Pseudomonarchia Daemonum.
Fish
The
pie.
first edition too.
Well,
Most
since it's
promising.
taking forever, let's just...
Omnes autem mali daemonis quam. What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? By Naga the Protector, they have the manners of boors, these boatmen of Cyseal. Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken, for you hardly resemble the local fisherfolk, which, incidentally, is a compliment of copious dimensions indeed. No. A source hunter. That is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery. A chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our mutual advantage to join forces nonetheless.
Why would you want to join forces?
Why, simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both of these pests frequent the same shadowy pools of infamy. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. Should I not, I'd have been decimated, body and soul, long since. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be strength in cunning, yes, but also in numbers. The calculus of wizardry I offer you, the might of the magician's mastermind. On one condition, that on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word on this, and I'll weave you spells.
Very well. There will be no deals with demons.
Agreed. Nothing good ever came from bargaining with those devils anyway.
Most gratifying.
Party member.
I see you are firm of purpose, and thereby ready to descend. Descend into the madness that is sorcery, into the depths where demons dance. Gladly shall I follow you into the abyss. Onward, blood and triumph await.
Yay, we got a new party member.
Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urrak! What mayhem!
Alright.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Cyseal's ever seen. Not in the mood for cheese.
Santa 7, we've secured the perimeter.
Have some pity. 1 coin or 2, noble spirit? 1 coin or 2?
Here, take 10 gold pieces.
May the soul of Astarte smile upon you, kind stranger.
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, I am a happy man, and certainly a humble one now. It turns out losing it all has its own share of benefits.
How did you lose it all?
A fool once was I, and ever seeking greater satisfaction than that which I already enjoyed. In my folly, I sought the counsel of those notorious Watcher statues on the western cliffs. Their guidance ruined any small fortune I might have had, but certainly granted me humility.
Tell me about these Watcher statues.
I'd heard they were not to be trusted, that they gave fools' advice to the fools who sought them, but somehow I believed that I was the exception. They told me that I would find fame and renown if I renounced my worldly possessions, all my worldly possessions, and became a great figure of piety and humility. Fire, the most thorough cleanser, was my method. But as my house burned in front of me, I felt no elevation, no piety, only the sudden weight of my own idiocy upon my very soul.
Here, take another gold piece.
Thank you, kind one.
I'll take my leave.
So, those statues told him he'd have to renounce his earthly possessions to become a spiritual leader, did they?
Absurd. Since when is poverty a prerequisite of spirituality?
Some of the richest people in the world are also some of the most miserable. Gold can purchase many things, but neither joy nor wisdom are among them.
Ah, cruel fortune.
The cooks! That was sloppier than Cysealian stew! Again!
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could...
Ice blue eyes, narrow beneath a heavy brow streaked with sweat and dust. Her hands tense into claws, held at the ready.
I mean you no harm, stranger. I only wonder who you are.
Her brow knits together, but something in her pose relaxes. She clears her throat. I am Bear Daughter. I have not come here to find trouble with the Screech woman. She only startled me. And you are a source hunter. I have heard many tales of your order. Your history is long and honorable.
And how did you end up in this cage?
This woman here, the one who now plots her revenge, she crept behind me while I was hunting, and I only defended myself. I would not hurt an innocent Screech woman on purpose. But soon their swords were upon me, and they forced me into this cage meant for dogs. Mother would rip the fur from her chest if she could see how they keep me.
You don't think it's infected, do you? Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Toe. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
A curious situation you've got here. Is the woman in this cage under arrest?
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
And what will become of this admittedly strange stranger?
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we? Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy, if we can trust her to watch our backs.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears?
I meant that I would be responsible for you. I will keep you out of trouble.
In truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized. I am happy to have a friend in such a place.
A child of the bears. What does that mean exactly?
And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. So says the saga of Thris. Do you know it? The wise god-wolf Amira raised the child Thris among her litter. So you see, I have good company. Thris the wolfson, and I the bear daughter. Ask freely, my friend. Your city is far more wild than Home Forest.
In Home Forest, the rules are clear. In Home Forest, your strength and speed determine your fate. Here, a tiny screech woman, no swifter than a mudworm, might confine you into a tiny cage, and one must wait for a kind stranger to grant freedom. Jarrett, wise Jarrett, taught me the bird songs of our people. If not for him, I would never have learned more than the beasts could teach me. A beast's life is to survive. A human's is to know. I have learned all the bird song that Jarrett could teach. I remembered every word. These tales have brought me much pleasure. The remembering of the beasts is without lies. We know not to approach the wasp's nest because long ago one bear mother discovered its dangers. This she taught to her cubs, and those cubs taught the next. We do not remember Rito and the battle of the buzzing brutes. We remember only what is useful to us now. Rito will be forgotten. The beauty of the story will be forgotten. But the lesson will not. It is different between beasts and humans. I am lucky to enjoy both ways. He came to me when I was small. A fierce, wild one, yet unaware of the difference between the other cubs and herself. He called to me in a soft song. At first I thought him a great bird. We each reached out to the other. We found each other. Jarrett visited me often, and in time I learned his songs and more. When he built a small cabin within Home Forest, I hunted his food and fetched his water by day while he studied his books and his magics. By night, by the fire, he'd tell me tales of the world of people. Jarrett is my master and my friend, my teacher and myself. He teaches me and I care for him. I heard this was a place of many people, so here I came. I have seen more faces here in a day than I had seen in all the days of my life together. But I have not found the face I seek. Jarrett is missing. It is my duty to find him. That mystery is thick and ugly as a swarm of hornets. It started with a great disturbance in Home Forest. A terrible disease came in the night and turned the birds and beasts soft and foul as carrion while they still lived. I watched countless of my loved ones die, rotted from the inside. When I ran to Jarrett to tell him what I had seen, his reaction was strange. He had no answer. The next morning, Jarrett did not emerge from his room. I left him be, but after 3 days I grew anxious. I broke down the door, and inside his chamber was nothing. His equipment, his books, all but some scraps of parchment were gone. He was kidnapped, and all his research was taken with him. The only clue I found was a letter among the scraps. I could not make out all the words, but I recognized the threat. Death, coming for you. And the signature? Attenborough. I do not know the one called Attenborough, but I know that if I am to find Jarrett, I must start there. Whoever this Attenborough may be, I believe he or she may know where Jarrett has been taken.
All right.
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
There is little in our world more variable than the minds of men. It is the source of great beauty and much despair, and all of it's uniquely human.
It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me, even if one burns hot while the other wheezes cold. Perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have, and perhaps then I will decide for myself whether ours is a noble kind.
Alright. There we go. Alright, so we got our party. Or at least our initial party for the moment.
Sorry, sir.
So, let's go ahead and save. And we're going to go ahead and call it an episode. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you really like our content, check out the Patreon, which is linked down below, where you can watch our content a week before it's uploaded to YouTube. Also, be sure to check out the Discord, link down below, so you can become part of our community and come hang out with us. And you have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye.